This is the last round.
The complicated world of inmate relationships.
Matt Freeman, you wake up in jail. There's a 6'5", 265-pound black man with a mohawk grabbing on your junk. What do you do?
I pray. I pray to Jesus. I pray to Buddha. I pray to Allah. I pray to Zeus to save me from that man.
Listen, you're a trained jiu-jitsu guy. You fought MMA.
That's Brett Rogers.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. So, I mean,
that's a big motherfucker.
Now imagine you're in there for meth. You've never been in a fight in your life. You broke into your mom's house. You stole her VCR. You sold it for meth. And now you're getting raped by Brett Rogers.
You know what you need to do?
That is why you don't steal from your mom.
You need to go to your happy place.
There's no happy place.
You need to go to your happy place, do some meditating or something, and just pray for it to be over quick.
Listen, when Brett Rogers is molesting you, there is no happy place.
Well, you better find it.
Disneyland, no, nothing. There's nothing.
No one. No, who can save you?
Here's the situation, and I said it this week. I'm only going to say it once. Brett Rogers was arrested for he was in an elevator at a library, and a gentleman who worked at the library was in the elevator with him, and Brett Rogers reached over and grabbed his junk. The guy hesitated to report it because Brett Rogers looks like a real-life action figure. Then 2 days later, he's in a bathroom, a public bathroom. He looks over at the guy next to him, and he says, basically, would you like to give me oral service? And the guy at the urinal next to him says, no. So then Brett grabs his ass and squeezes it. So the guy goes straight to the cops. Brett Rogers gets arrested. And while in jail for molesting men, he wakes up in the middle of the night. By the way, the guy that's on the top bunk had the bottom bunk. And as soon as Brett walked in, he just got his stuff and put it on the top bunk.
Good move.
And so Brett took the bottom. So the guy's asleep and he wakes up and Brett's just, giving him the bedroom eyes and rubbing on his junk. So the guy looks at him kind of funny. Brett backs off, gets in his bed. Nothing is said, by the way. The guy says nothing because what do you say? And Brett Rogers doesn't say anything. So he goes back to sleep, which I would have never been able to do.
You better turn into Nightmare on Elm Street and never sleep again, motherfucker.
I want to know how this guy was comfortable enough to go back to sleep. I mean, what has gone on in this guy's life that he was comfortable enough to go back to sleep?
He's probably been touched up a few times before in that cell.
So anyway, 2 hours later, he wakes up, and guess what? Brett Rogers is at it again. So what do you do?
Nobody is safe. When Brett Rogers who's safe from Brett Rogers?
No junk is safe when Brett Rogers is in town.
What do you do?
Let me ask you this.
You got to be Fedor.
Let me ask you this. You have a pretty good fight against Fedor Emelianenko. You have a pretty good fight against Fabricio Verdum. You beat Andrei Arlovsky. How do you end up homeless, molesting men in a library?
Fedor must have hit him really fucking hard.
That's what everyone online says. Fedor beat his ass so bad, they turned him gay.
Wow.
And there's nothing wrong with being gay, unless, of course, you're molesting men in the library.
Unless men want to be molested in the library.
Brett Rogers is absolutely the winner of the biggest fall from grace that I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, he's fallen pretty far. But you know what? I dare you to say that to his face in a jail cell.
I'm not going to jail with Brett Rogers ever.
Maybe you were close. You were there a couple months ago.
What's wrong with him, man? Do you have any clues?
I just feel sorry for any one of his cellmates from here on out.
Let me ask you a question. If you're in jail for arson, do you then set a fire in your jail cell to get into more trouble? You know what I mean? So he must have an issue, like a problem, because if he was
Did he always have this problem? Because
not that I know of.
Didn't he get in trouble for beating up his girlfriend? Isn't that what sent him in? Didn't he go to jail for that?
Well, he went to jail for that, but that's prior. That has nothing to do with now.
See, now we know why he beat her up, because he was gay and frustrated.
But here's what I'm saying. Obviously, it's not a situation where he's consciously saying, I need to do this. This is a situation where he's got a mental issue. Because you're in jail for it. You've only been in jail one night, and you're facing charges for it, and you're doing it again.
He just doesn't give a fuck.
He has no control. There's something wrong with him.
He doesn't give a fuck. He's Brett Rogers. Who's going to stop him?
Okay. Oh. To me, one of the biggest fights that has been made lately has been made for UFC 210. Have you heard about this fight?
Oh, what?
Gegard Mousasi versus Chris Weidman.
Interesting fight.
And I think, honestly, here's my situation with
You said it.
I didn't say it like that. I said, here's my situation. Here's the question that I have for you. Is this a must win for Chris Weidman? Because I mean, really,
Yes,
I believe
is.
so too. Because what has he done since
He's
beating?
been on the downside.
Right.
I don't know, and I don't know that he wins.
I don't think he can.
I think he gets knocked out again.
I think Musasi's underrated.
He's one of the most underrated fighters in the division.
Tremendous fighter. I don't think Chris Weidman can beat him. Is this a bad fight for Chris Weidman to take in a must-win situation?
No, because you got to prove you're the man.
I mean, he's already proven he's not. So
I think this is the fight.
terrible
This is the
argument.
fight he has to
a
win.
terrible argument from
No,
a
it's
terrible
not.
sports analyst.
It's not.
Stop
From
looking
the
at the
guy.
camera.
The guy that said Ronda Rousey could not lose to Amanda Nunes says that I have the worst take. Okay.
I'm gonna listen.
Right.
I'm gonna put an end to
Sure.
this right now.
Sure.
Just stare into the camera for a minute. Let's get this all out of your system. Just wave at the camera, smile, all that. Show them your
It's not
porn
going to
stash.
get out of my system.
Stop looking at the camera.
That camera was made for me.
No, it was not.
I don't look at that camera. I make love to that camera.
Well, at least there's somebody making love to you. Tyron Woodley has said, and I
Tyron or
quote,
Tyrone?
It's Tyron.
Is it Tyron?
Do you see
I've
an
been
E at
calling
the
him
end of his
Tyrone
name?
all this time.
I'm sure you have. Quote, I am the worst treated champion in UFC history. End quote. Do you know why he says that?
He says it is racism.
He says they're all racist.
He's not getting that big of a push.
Rampage got a push.
He did.
Anderson Silva got a push.
Yeah, but he's Brazilian.
But he's black.
It's different.
It's not different.
From Brazil. Difference.
Do you remember when everyone threw a fit because Brock Lesnar got an exemption for the 4-month drug test
I do
pool?
remember that.
Do you know who Angela Hill is?
Yes.
Okay, who is she?
She's a female fighter in the UFC.
In Invicta. She's an Invicta
She's
champion.
Invicta now.
Okay, guess what? She just got an exemption from the 4-month pool for drug testing because the fight got made late. And guess how many people are throwing a fucking fit?
Nobody cares.
None. Do you know why? Because it happens all the time. So why did Brock Lesnar take so much shit for it?
Because he's a beast.
But he's a
And
beast
the biggest name in
with or
fighting.
without roids.
The biggest name in fighting. He's got a,
Is he the biggest name in fighting?
one of the biggest, top 3, top 4 biggest draws.
Tell me who the top 5 biggest names in
Conor McGregor.
fighting, all combat sports.
All fighting.
Yeah,
Floyd Mayweather.
Number one.
Number one. You're talking current right now.
right.
Brock Lesnar, Ronda Rousey.
Brock Lesnar's fought once in the last half decade.
You're talking draw.
Is he really even a combat sports fighter now? He's banned for a year. He'll never come back. I mean,
Yeah, he's a former champion. He just won his last fight. He beat a guy in the top 10.
who's suing him, by the way? We've yet to receive our papers from Mark Hunt suing us. I have a feeling this guy's going to sue everyone before it's all said and done. So, Floyd Mayweather, Brock Lesnar, Ronda Rousey, Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz,
Yeah. I think he's in there now.
or Triple G.
I think Nate Diaz is bigger than Triple G.
Okay. I think that's a fair list. I think that's probably one of the better lists that you've ever come up with.
Oh, gee, thanks.
I'm very proud of you.
Thanks.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Can I see the pen now?
No.
I just want to look at it for a second.
You're not going to see that pin.
The pen looked rainbow colored, was it?
Maybe.
Will you tell us?
Look at the footage.
Look at the footage.
This is the last round.